Today we're going to start tying a bunch of things together. So without any waiting any longer, if we have an equation like this, we need to first get it into something we can put into our calculator. So I'm going to solve for y. And remember, when we do that, our object is to get one positive y. So I'm going to add my 3x, add my 3x there. I don't put it under the 1 because there's no x with a 1. Okay. This becomes y equals 1 plus 3x. I'm going to put this into my calculator. I'm going to go to my y equals. I already have y equals right there, so I can just put in 1 plus 3x. Remember, we're using the x by the alpha key. And then I'm going to hit second graph so I can see my table. Remember, what I want you to do is I want you to get into the habit of using -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. So I'm going to put in here -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Unless we tell you otherwise, those are good numbers to pick. So -2, y is -5. -1, y is -2. 0, y is 1. When x is 1, y is 4. And when x is 2, y is 7. Now, I need to translate those points. So -2, -5 onto my graph. -2, -5. -1, -2. So I'm going to go to -1 on my x. And then -2 on my y. 0, 1. 1, 4, and 2, 7. Now I really can't see 7 on there, so I'm just going to estimate. I'm thinking it's going to be like right about here. So now what I need to do is I need to draw a line to connect my dots. I'll try to draw it nice and straight and put an arrow on it. Okay? You must give me all these points. You must show your work right here. If you just write down an equation, then you're not going to get credit for it. So I'm going to start here on the left and move to the right, and if I stay on the line as I move to the right, it's going up. So my answer here is that it is increasing. So you'll put increase. And you know what? If you want to just give me a capital I for increase, or capital D for decrease, that's fine. Alright, x-intercept, y-intercept. Remember, whatever you're looking at, the other one is 0. So if it's the x-intercept, my y is 0. I'm going to fill that in. Y-intercept, my x is 0. And I'll fill that in. So what I'll do is I'll look. I don't see a y with a 0, but I do see 0, 1. So I'm going to put that in right there. To find the other one, where my y is 0, I'm going back to y equals. I'm going to go down to the second one here, put in a 0. And so what it's going to do is going to draw a line right on the x-axis. This time I'm not going to look at my table. I'm going to hit graph, and you can't see the other line that it drew. It's there, it's the x-axis. But now, and you want to get these down, second trace. I'm going to find the intersection, 5, and then I'm going to hit enter 3 times. 0, 0, or enter, enter, enter. And it tells me right here, and 0.3333 repeating is 1/3. Got that little negative sign, and it says when y is 0, x is -1/3. So I'm going to go ahead and put in -1/3. Let's do number 2. I have 2x plus y equals 0. I need to get rid of my 2x. So I'm going to do it like this. Remember, show all your work. Up with y equals, I don't need the 0, but I can bring down my -2x. Come over here, put in, I'm going to clear out that first equation, and I'm going to put in -2x. Now you need to put in the negative sign here. And the trick to using the negative sign is if there is an equal sign or nothing in front of it, then it's negative. If there is a number, a letter, or a parentheses in front of it, it's a minus sign. Okay? I'm going to go back to my table. I'm going to fill out my table using -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. I end up with 4, 2, 0, -2, -4 from my table over here. Now what I'll do is I'll try to use a different color here, and I'm going to graph that. So I'm going to go to -2, 4. There you go, get on there. -1, 2, 0, 0, 1, -2, and 2, -4. So what I've done is I've just taken, there's a pair, 2, -4, 1, -2, 0, 0. This tells me where to go on my x-axis. This tells me where to go on my y-axis. I'm going to draw a line. And if you have a straight edge, go ahead and use it. Remember, put your arrows or it is not correct. So now if I start on the left and I look at my line and I start going to the right, left to the right, I have to stay on the line. I'm going down, so it is decreasing. Remember, x-intercept, y is 0. Y-intercept, x is 0. So let's look at this. When my y is 0, my x is 0. And when my x is 0, my y is 0. So my intercepts are the same right there. Okay? I'll get back to here. We don't need to use that second graph thing anymore. Alright, let's look at number 3. First thing we do is solve for y. I have 5x minus y equals 10. I'm going to move the 5x. We have to subtract. Oh, look at this sneaky little negative sign. We need to remember to bring that down. So I have -y equals 10 minus 5x. Remember, to make this a positive, we need to divide everything by -1. Divide by -1. Divide by -1. The -1 simply changes our sign. So my -y becomes positive. My positive 10 becomes -10. My -5x now becomes a plus 5x. So I'm going to write that in here. -10 plus 5x. And I'm going to look at my table. Oh goodness, we're not going to get very much on here at all, are we? In fact, it looks like we're only going to get 1, 2, and 3 on here. So let's do this. We can get 3, 2, 1. We're not going to get 0, and we're not going to get -1, but we're going to go ahead and write them in anyways. -15, -10, -5, 2 is 0, and 3 is 5. So when we go to plot these, we're only going to be able to plot a couple of these. So 1, -5, that would be right there. 2, 0, and 3, 5. Going to draw my line as straight. Oh, I didn't quite get it. Use a ruler so you can get it through all 3 of those. Again, let's look. If I'm starting on the left, going to the right on my line, I am increasing. So I'm going to put an I for increasing. x-intercept y is 0, y-intercept x is 0. So the first one I come to, look at this, x is 0, y is negative 10. So I look, oh, there's x is 0, y is negative 10. I come over here, 2 and 0, that's where y is 0, so my x-intercept is 2, 0. I can also look right here. Now I can't see where the y-intercept is. It would actually be somewhere way down here. So I can't see that. But I can look at my table and I can get these. Alright. Number 4. I have, let me go ahead and close that out. I can tell I'm going to need a new one. And so we'll just get it going. So we have it available. Let me bring that back into view for you. Minimize that. Alright, now let's take care of this. X plus y equals 6. We need to get y by itself, so we're going to subtract the x like that. And I have y equals 6 minus x. Come over to my calculator. Y equals 6. Now I'm not going to use a negative because there's a number in front of that sign. So that means it's a minus sign on the calculator. Then x. And then I'm going to do second graph. Look at my table. Let's see. It doesn't look like we're going to get negative 2 on there. Or negative 1. Let's go ahead. We're going to start at 0. Because we're going to need that. Let's go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 0, 6, 1, 5, 2, 4, 3, 2, oh, 3, 3, I'm sorry, 3, 3. Let me erase that for you. We have 3, 3, and then 4, 2. So I can't really get 0, 6, but let me try to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be right about there. So I'm going to pretend 1, 5, 2, 4, 3, 3, 4, 2. I imagine we could keep going here. We could go 5, 1. And then we would be right here. What do you think that would be? Of course, we can always look. Alright, so if we start on the left, we go to the right, staying on our line. We see we're going down, so it's decreasing. X-intercept, y is 0, y-intercept, x is 0. I can see I have my 0, 6 here. Now let's go over here and see if we can find where y is 0 on our calculator. Aha! Right there, it is 6, 0. I'm going to go ahead and put in 6, 0. An interesting thing on this next one, we have y equals 2. Well, maybe you can figure that out. We don't need to solve for y because we already know y equals 2. We have one positive y right there, so we're good to go. Let's go to our y equals. We're going to clear that out, and we're going to put in 2. Let's go here. We're going to hit graph. We're going to start at negative 2. Okay, get that at negative 2. Negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. And you see that this is just 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So, if I were to graph that, looks like this. And in fact, you can probably tell is just that straight line right there. Is this increasing or decreasing? Well, it is neither. I have a 0, 2. Well, x is 0, so that must mean that's a y-intercept, 0, 2. And then, does it ever cross the x-axis? No. So there is no x-intercept. Let's talk about this for a minute. Is this a function? Well, we can do the vertical line test. Is there more than one x value there? No. There, no. There, no. There, no. There, no. Never more than one x value, so it is a function still, but it has no x-intercept.